Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we're doing an unboxing of the Asustor Nimbustor 4 Gen 2, otherwise known as the AS5404T. Due to some issues, they're called different things in different regions, so you can check out on either. But don't worry if you can't find it or you're struggling to search, there will be links in the video description below which potentially may be affiliated, so we may earn a small commission from any sales, but don't worry, it's not going to cost you anything more and does go some way to helping out the channel. So for those of you that don't know who Asustor are or what they do, basically they do storage, and this is what is known as a NAS or network attached storage. So this connects up to your home network via Ethernet cables and can transmit in speeds which are far exceeding some of the older models which have been on the market. This thing actually has two 2.5 gig Ethernet ports included as standard. Also, you can expand that as well with very affordable 2.5 gig Ethernet adapters which connect on USB. So in theory you can have up to 5 Ethernet connections on here should you wish to, which is probably a little bit overkill for most people, but certainly this Asustor Nimbustor 4 is designed for expandability and is also a really good media powerhouse. Now, depending on what you want to do with your NAS, whether or not you just want to back up your files off your PC, which is extremely easy to do, whether or not you want to use it as a multimedia powerhouse for all of your videos, photos and all that kind of stuff, or you want to do other things with it, such as run Docker containers or Portainer containers, maybe a Plex media server, that sort of thing, this has pretty much got you covered. With a really nice powerful processor in there using the Intel Celeron 5105 processor, which has quad cores running at 2 GHz and it can boost up to 2.9 GHz. To back that up, this also comes with 4 GB of RAM pre-installed, which is running at DDR4 2933 MHz. And if you want to, you can actually upgrade it very easily without any restrictions. So you can upgrade this up to 16 GB, which is more than enough for most NASs. If that wasn't enough, it also includes 8 GB of eMMC storage built in, so you can install your operating system, or the ADM, ASUSTOR Data Master software, as it's known, which is currently in version 4.2 at the time of recording. Something which Asustor tend to do, which they seem to be becoming very well known for, is cramming in an absolute ton of hardware for a relatively small price point. Now, if you've looked at NAS devices in the past and you've been a little bit concerned about pricing and what you get for your money, Asustor is one of the brands on the market where you do get a lot for your money. So this actually is a 4-bay device. So this is the Nimbustor 4 Gen 2. So you can install 4 hard disk drives in this front section here. But if you want a little bit more storage, you can install a further 4 M.2 drives in the top. So effectively this works out to be an 8-bay NAS. If your storage needs are a little bit more than that and you want something a little bit bigger, don't worry, again, Asustor have got you covered. There are expansion modules available, so this thing can actually communicate with up to 16 drives, although you may have to have slightly deeper pockets to populate all that. So being that this is an unboxing, let's go through and take a look at the packaging, then we'll take a look at the NAS itself, then we'll look at some of the accessories, and then we'll discuss more of the features which this can offer you. So starting off with the packaging, this is pretty typical from Asustor, so nice retail packaging. On the front it goes over some of the key features such as the quad-core CPU, the 4 GB of RAM that are installed, the 4 M.2 SSD drives which are able to be populated. Also, something which they've improved on this particular model is the fact we do now have USB 3.2 Gen 2. So all of the USB ports on this will support up to 10 gigabit per second. So if perhaps you're thinking of maybe having some off-site storage as well, so you've got a USB drive, you're going to plug it in and back up your NAS to that to keep off-site, which is always a recommended thing to do, then you can do that very easily and also get some really stellar transfer speeds. Other key features are the 2 times 2.5 GBE Ethernet with link aggregation. You also got hardware transcoded supported. You've got a magnetic front cover for easy access to the drive should you need to. And all of this is backed up with a full Asustor 3-year warranty. If you want to find out more detailed information about this from the Asustor site, there will be a QR code on the screen which you can scan now. And again, like I said, there will be links in the video description. On the other side of the box, it talks about some of the things that you may want to actually take advantage of, such as the Asustor Data Manager, which is the operating system. This is designed for both enthusiasts and also lifestyle applications, or potentially you may want to use this as a dedicated surveillance station. Now, this is one of the key things again with Asustor, giving you a little bit more for your money. If you're going to get a competing brand, I'm not going to mention the name, but I think you pretty much know who it is. They only come with 1 license for cameras, possibly 2 for some versions. Whereas this, straight away out of the box, will support up to 4 IP cameras straight away without needing to purchase any additional licenses. So let's take a look at the unit itself. So this is the NAS. Again, it's a relatively small unit and quite compact, so you can store it away somewhere should you wish to keep it out of sight. Or alternatively, I think it looks quite smart and wouldn't look that much out of place on your desktop. Some people who are going to be using this for media purposes, this is going to be absolutely great because ASUSTOR are one of Adobe's partners for NAS devices and storage. So this is fully compliant. So if you want to actually use this as your kind of video editing station and store all of your footage on here, you can work with any of the Adobe apps very easily, and it is certified to work. So we'll start off with the front panel, which I think actually looks pretty stylish. There's also a very handy magnetic cover on the front, so you can just pop it off should you need to, and this will give you access to your drive bays. Now I've actually numbered the drive bays up, which actually I suggest you do, or at least have some way of knowing which drive is which. So if for some reason you get a drive failure, or you want to add a drive, or whatever it is, you know which bay they come into. That is very important. When you remove drives from your NAS, you do have to put them back into the appropriate slot. It's actually very easy to do, to remove a drive. All you do is lift this latch and slide the cage out. And as you can see, we've already got one of our bays populated here. I've actually got 3 drives in here at present, 3 4TB drives. And of course, being that this is a NAS, you can set this up for being just a bunch of disks, so no RAID or anything. You can set it for RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5, RAID 6 or RAID 10. Ultimately that decision is going to come down to you, but depending on your storage needs, pretty much all the bases are covered. So just to reiterate, for those of you that are not really sure what this is all about and struggle to kind of get the kind of concepts behind it, you can, if you want to, just install a single drive in here. This is going to give you a massive amount of storage capacity, but it isn't going to give you any data redundancy. So should your drive fail, then your data is gone unless you're making off-site backups utilizing that USB 3.2 Gen 2 connectivity on the back with a separate USB drive. Ideally, you want to have at least 2 drives installed in here. So in order to do that, lift up the latch and pull out your drives, and you can see there's another Seagate drive in here. So this is going to give you basically a kind of like a mirrored RAID. So each drive will have the same data on both. So if one drive fails, the other one can carry on seamlessly. If you want to increase your storage, you can add a 3rd or 4th drive, or potentially even more. So we've got an additional 4TB drive in here. So now we can set up things such as RAID 5. So we can have what is effectively a hot spare. So this will give you, if you're using 3 drives of 4TB each, this is going to give you 8TB of storage and a 4TB swappable drive. So half of the data from each drive is going to be kind of put onto here, or at least that's kind of how it works. I'm not an expert at RAID, but I do know that if you have additional drives, you can set up like that. So one drive can fail, the others can carry on, and you don't see any data loss. At the moment, in this particular unit, the 4th bay is open or available to be populated, so we could put another drive in there and reconfigure our RAID. Installing drives is really easy to do. It's a toolless affair. There's a little plastic runner on the side, which you just remove both sides, put your drive in. There's little latches on there which holds it in place. Snap those back in, put your drive back in, and then you can add it to your RAID or create a new drive just a bunch of disks, or however you choose to configure it. It's really flexible. Putting the drives back in, again, very simple to do. Just slide it in and lock it into position. So other things we've got on the front panel. So at the top here, we've got our power button. So you press that to turn the device on, or you can press it again to turn the device off, however you see fit. You can control all this through the application, which works on mobile devices and also through a web browser. You've also got activity LEDs down here telling you drive status, power status, LAN status, all those kinds of things. You've also got another button here, so you can configure this to do USB backups. So if you want to back up your NAS to a separate USB drive, or you want to plug in the USB drive and transfer that to the NAS, you can do that by pressing the button on the front there. And at the very bottom, you've got the first of our USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A ports, supporting up to 10 gigabit per second. On the top of the NAS, nothing too exciting, but there is some additional ventilation here, which goes straight over the top of where the M.2 drive is going to go. So if you are going to use those, as we know, they can get a little bit on the warm side, but direct ventilation on the top is very useful. Also, there is a big fan on the back, which we'll take a look at next. So that is going to pull fresh air straight into there to cool down your drives. Also for the ones which are the hard disk drives in the front. Moving around to the back, and we can see here, so we've got our screws for gaining access to the interior, which we'll show you shortly. We've also got a 120mm PWM fan. This is actually really good. It is a standard PC fan, effectively, running on PWM control. So if you wanted to, and for some reason you find it a little bit noisy, which I would say it definitely isn't, but if you've got it on your desk and you want something to be a little bit quieter, You can, if you want to, swap that out with some fans from other brands such as Arctic, Noctua, etc. Also at the bottom there is a Kensington lock slot, so if you're maybe using this in a working environment and you don't want it to be stolen, then you can use a Kensington lock and hook it down, so that's a pretty good safety feature. You also got another two USB 3.2 Gen 2 10 gigabit per second ports there, so that's 3 in total. Underneath that there is an HDMI port, so this supports HDMI 2.0B, so you can actually use this as an output. So effectively you can use this as kind of like a PC. There is the portal which you can install on the NAS. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you can use that, connect up a HDMI cable to a monitor, and then you can watch all of the items you've got stored on here, such as your photos, your videos, or listen to music, all through the portal, or potentially you can use it as basically a small PC. You can actually run a web browser on here as well, so you can just browse the web and use it kind of like a PC. Underneath that, we've got the kind of real stars of the show here, which is something which ASUSTOR do over and above what you get from some other competing brands. You have actually got two dedicated 2.5 gigabit Ethernet ports. Now obviously you will need a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet switch to take full advantage of those, but they will be downgradable, so if you do want to use it as just a gigabit or even 10100, you certainly can do. Finally at the bottom there is our power input, so that conveniently takes us on to the other accessories box with the included power supply. So also included in the box, as you would expect, there is a separate power supply. This is actually really handy because if for some reason the power supply should fail at some point, these are actually very easy to get hold of and replace, rather than having one which is actually inside the unit, which can obviously be considerably more difficult to replace or even gain access to. Also, you've got mounting screws for attaching drives inside of the unit. You've also got a little safety clip there to keep the power socket actually attached to the unit, so if someone's maybe walking around behind this, if it's somewhere where there's access, someone could accidentally pull out the power cable, which is obviously a bad thing. So this little section here you can just attach to your power cable and screw on the side to prevent it being pulled out. And finally you've got two short cables, so these are Cat5e cables, so this is for your 2.5 gig Ethernet. You can just plug those into an appropriate switch. You can either use 1, 2, or potentially even use more if you add on the extra USB adapters. So to gain access to the device, I've actually taken out the drives already and taken off the front panel. There's also 4 screws, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can turn it onto its side and you can slide this panel backwards. Once it's fully slid backwards, you can lift the cover upwards and put this to one side. And this then reveals the internals. So you can see we've got our drive bays there, and you've got the SATA backplane there. You can see the fan quite easily, and again, get relatively good access to it should you wish to swap it out. But the most important thing is actually this part here. So this is your NVMe storage. So there's 4 bays included. They've also come with little plastic clips on there to hold the drives in place. So nice and easy to remove them should you wish to. You don't have to use NVMe drives in here. The choice is entirely up to you. And you can use them as various different storage methods, or potentially you can use them for drive caching. So if you're accessing lots of very small files very frequently, they can be cached to the faster speed storage to gain quicker access to them. Alternatively, you can set them up as individual drives, just a standard non-RAIDed pair, standard drive like you'd see in Windows, or you can pair them up to create another RAID for data security, or again, you can have 4 connected, so you can have RAID 5 if you want to. With the current pricing of NVMe drives, that's probably not the brightest thing to do at the moment. Unfortunately, NVMe drives have rocketed in price recently and almost double the price they were kind of this time last year, unfortunately. But certainly it is an option, and as the system grows or as your data requirements grow, you can add these drives to make things a little bit quicker or just to add more storage. Also, for some of you, if you actually want your NAS to be very, very fast and also very, very quiet, you can just actually use the NVMe drives on their own, so have it as a flash store type device. Again, at the moment, data storage wise, it's far cheaper to do it per terabyte with mechanical hard disk drives, but at least with this, it does give you the options, so you don't lose anything or gain anything in terms of which one you go for. In terms of actual storage space, you still get the same capacities, but you can get it to be significantly quieter and faster, especially for those smaller files if you're using flash storage. Also, while we're in here, we can also see at the bottom there is the memory slots. So you've actually got 2 memory slots there, so you can actually put 2 sticks of RAM in. It does come as standard, populated with a 4 gigabyte stick, which is this particular one is an Pacer unit, rated at DDR4 3200, although the actual CPU is going to be limited to 2933. If you want to increase that, you can do very easily. And unlike some other manufacturers, you don't have to get kind of specific memory sticks, you can generally use anything which is available on the market as long as it is the same specification. If you're putting 2 sticks in here, you can also mix and match a little bit. So if you've got a slightly older stick, which is slightly slower, you can mix and match them a little bit. It isn't overly dependent on that. But yeah, there is a lot of flexibility should you wish to upgrade it. Although realistically, with the 4 GB in here, I think most people are going to be absolutely fine. So yeah, there is a quick look and unboxing of the Asustor Nimbustor Gen 2 or AS5404T, depending on which country you're in. And at this point, you're probably wondering, okay, so it's a NAS, yeah, it's great, it's got lots of features, tons of flexibility. What can I actually use it for? So again, going back to what we said earlier, depends what your needs actually are. If your needs are just for data storage and security, then obviously backing up your files to a NAS is a really good idea. Alternatively, if you're a video editor, all those massive video files, you want to keep them somewhere, but perhaps you don't want to keep them on your dedicated M.2 storage inside your main editing PC, then you can offload that into a NAS device. Again, storage for hard disk drives, considerably cheaper, but some people don't like having them inside of a PC because they are a little bit slow and clunky and slow down the rest of the system, whereas in this it's going to be fine because it's a standalone unit and basically what it's designed to do. Other potential uses, again, surveillance. So if you've got IP cameras in your house and you want to have some security, or maybe for a business, you can hook up to 4 cameras at the same time with the included licensing. It will support up to, I believe it's 44 cameras in total with additional licenses. Again, links for that will be in the video description if you want to take advantage of that. So you can have your own kind of PVR or NVR, however you want to look at it. So a video recording solution for your surveillance cameras. Also, there are things like iSCSI. So what you can do with this is maybe offload your Steam library. Again, if your PC has got an M.2 drive, but it's not a particularly big one, but you've got loads of Steam games or whatever it is, you can store them actually on this and have it mounted in your system as an iSCSI drive. So to the operating system of your computer, this NAS will actually appear as a physical hard drive. Whereas if you use other methods such as USB storage, because it is a detachable storage, you can't always install games to it because they just won't run or it's not quick enough. Whereas this, using iSCSI is going to be absolutely fine for things like Steam libraries, or again, for video editing, you can have your video files on here and edit your stuff in Adobe Premiere or other video editing softwares, and this will appear to the system as a physical drive. Very handy stuff. Or potentially you're the other way around and you've got loads of media files, you've got your old family pictures, you've got maybe loads of downloaded video files which you perhaps want to share with friends across the network. Then you can do that as well using the various software applications that this actually allows, such as Sounds Good and the AI Music for sharing music. You've also got the Photo Gallery 3, and you can use AI Photo 3 on your mobile phone to access that, so you can manipulate and organize all of your pictures. You also got the Looks Good and AI Videos. So with that, you can have all of your videos that you've maybe accumulated or downloaded possibly, and you can share those out much like you would with things like Plex Media Server. Or alternatively, if you want to, you can install things like third-party applications like Plex Media Server and various others on here to make this basically work however you want it to work. There's lots of flexibility and there isn't really a right way or a wrong way. It's just working out what works best for you. And ultimately, it's going to come down to data storage. If you need lots of drives, then something like the 5404T with its 4 bays for hard drives and 4 bays for M.2 drives and potentially extra USB add-ons. And it also comes in at a very competitive price compared with other units available on the market. So there you go, there are my thoughts and feelings on the Asustor Nimbustor 4 or the AS5404T. I really like this. Again, Asustor throw a lot of hardware and a lot of technology into a much lower price point than the competition, and for that reason alone, it's highly worth looking at. When it comes down to the actual software, the ADM software, it possibly isn't quite as polished as some of the other brands out on the market, but certainly it is getting better with every iteration, and certainly things like security applications, which some of you may be very keen on, and also external access has been really highly polished recently and works much better than it had over the previous years. When it comes to prices, this thing you're going to be looking at somewhere in the region of about the £500 mark, so certainly it is an investment, but I think in terms of what you can get for your money, I think it's very well worth looking at. So let me know what you think about this one in the comments section below. Don't forget there'll be links for all of this in the video description so you can check out local pricing to you, and you never know, there may be the occasional bargain. I think this is definitely worth looking at. Hopefully you've liked this video. If you have, smash the like button. If you want to see more content of this on a daily basis, maybe consider hitting subscribe and the chime notification. That'll be notified of future video releases. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.